Speaking of the other game on Saturday, let's take a look at the Indianapolis Colts at the Arizona Cardinals. As we sit right now, the Cardinals are anywhere from a 1 point to a 1.5 point home favorite. This is down from 2.5. A lot of people taking the Colts whenever that thing was at 2.5, taking it when it was at 2 as well. Now sitting 1.5 everywhere, 48.5 to 49. Your total. Brad, when we take a look here, the Colts have been getting it done with a power run game. It has been Jonathan Taylor. They haven't had to really do anything with Carson Wentz. That's probably a pretty good thing because Carson Wentz is terrible. If you look at the Arizona Cardinals, they're on this losing streak here. They're without DeAndre Hopkins. They're still without J.J. Watt. This defense can't stop the run at all. They can't get off the field on third down. They get bullied by a Lions team this past week. People say, hey, it's just one game, don't overreact, but it's not really just one game. Like, we've seen this Cardinals team kind of leak oil throughout the course of the season. And I think now it's just kind of all coming to a head here at the worst possible time. I took the Colts in a teaser with the Packers. I took the Colts up to 8. It was at 2 at the time when I took it. You can still find a 1.5 out there to take it up to 7.5, to take it through the 3 and the 8. The other thing is just the way that the Cardinals have been playing offense right now and the guys that they're going to have available and all that, they're not really built to blow anybody out, the way that they've been playing either. So gladly take 8 points or 7.5 points with the Colts as it is. I guess my question to you is, do you think that this offensive philosophy from the Colts, this run, only pass whenever we have to with Carson Wentz, can work against this Cardinals team?
Yeah, 100%. So one of the things we've been talking a little bit about this season is the teams built to run, to combat the teams built to stop the pass. And Arizona's defense is built to stop the pass. So they're 25th in run stop win rate. They're 25th in PFF rush defense grade. And now they're going up against the best rush defense in the NFL, the best run blocking O-line in the NFL. And we saw them literally get crushed by Detroit's O-line, and the Colts O-line is a different league. If you beat the Patriots up front on both lines of scrimmage, like the Colts did, then I'm taking you very seriously. And Arizona's in a completely different league defensively. They're not stout up front. Since J.J. Watt's gone down, they went from one of the top defenses in the NFL to 18th in EPA per play allowed. So they're mid-pack. Then they've lost Robert Alford. They're one of their top 2 corners. So now they're starting one of the very worst corners by PFF grade in the NFL, opposite Byron Murphy. So they can't stop the run. I think they probably can't stop the pass. I don't really know what they're going to do. So we look at the Arizona offense. Can they keep up? Well, obviously they've lost Hopkins. Kyler, he didn't run at all last week. Is he still feeling that calf injury? I don't know. And then so if we look at Cliff Kingsbury's splits in the second half of the season, is he a bit of a Sean McVay where he gets worse? Because his splits with Kyler Murray, first half of the year, they're plus 3.9 points per game in point differential. Second half of the year, minus 3 points per game. So 6.9 points different. Without DeAndre Hopkins, they suddenly get a lot worse as well. Yards per attempt drops by 1.7 yards per attempt with Hopkins off the field. So look, it feels quite square, doesn't it? Like, Arizona just got beaten by the Lions, now back at home against the Colts team off a huge statement win. But I think you can only go on the Colts side here because I think up front they're going to smash this Cardinals defense. So for me, the way to play it is Colts first half. You can get plus a half, minus 120 I've seen, or you can get pick them, basically draw no bet, evens, just the Colts to win the first half. And that's the way I like to play it.
Stephen, I know you're looking on the other side of this one. I'm curious as to where you think that the kind of this Colts offense falters here against this Arizona defense. I mean, I'm not bullish on the Colts long term. I think that it will eventually falter in the playoffs. I can't wait to fade them in the playoffs. They've got a quarterback that they want to hide very, 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 very much. And if it came down to it in the playoffs and somebody had to make a big throw, Carson Wentz is not going to make that big throw. But I think this is a really, really, really good matchup for this team here. I think this is a perfect storm of the Colts kind of hitting their stride, Arizona stumbling, and then a huge strength against a huge weakness in two teams kind of colliding here.
Well, Brad just made a very compelling case for the Colts, and now I'm terrified. So let's start there. But I agree with you. One of the things I was going to mention, even though I am thinking about betting the Cardinals here, one of the two big questions I asked myself in this game, can Arizona slow down Jonathan Taylor, is one of them. And admittedly, probably not. Brad laid that out perfectly. Earlier this season, Arizona's run D looked better, but it's gotten worse. The PFF grades have Arizona.
JJ Watt went down, right? I mean, JJ Watt was by far their best run defender, and then when he went down, it fell off a cliff for them.
Yeah, and now if you look at grades, they're number 25 by PFF against the run, which happens to also be their rank in overall run stop win rate this season. So they're going to be able to run the ball. The question I have to ask myself, considering that this game is now a pick'em, and I'm not being tasked with trying to figure out if Arizona can win by more than a field goal, which is what the look ahead was. Can they just win the game with Kyler against this Colts passing defense? And Indianapolis is 30th in pressure rate, 24th in pass rush win rate. They are bottom half in early down success rate in EPA. They are 28th in red zone defense. So at least on paper, it looks like a pretty good bounce back spot for Kyler in this offense. And to Brad's point, he didn't run last week. The question about the calf, he did rush for 61 yards on 7 attempts the week before against the Rams. So not too concerned there. The loss of DeAndre Hopkins obviously is significant, but he was not getting the huge major usage and efficiency that we've seen in previous years with Hopkins. So I care a little bit more about James Conner and Chase Edmonds being a really strong, efficient check down option if the guys aren't open down the field. So, I mean, it's really just one of those typical bounce back situations on paper, right? Are you getting a buy low spot here for Arizona, or is this just what they are at this point? So this, you guys know I've been high on Arizona all year. I think people have been trying to shoot holes into them when they weren't there earlier this year. I think those holes might be there now. So I guess this is my last stand for Arizona this week against a very strong and capable Indianapolis Colts squad. I am going to take the -1 on Arizona, I think, though, and hope that they bounce back.
Matt and Brad versus Steven. This typically doesn't go well for Steven. So we shall see how this we'll see how this plays out on Saturday. But two really good games on Saturday that mean a lot, because again, Green Bay is still trying to hold on to that number 1 seed. And then you've got Indianapolis and Arizona, who one trying to stop the bleeding, one trying to continue to improve where they sit in the playoffs.